Hey again, I'm Rahana, and we are playing more of Gakuen Heaven 2. This is Professor Sakaki's route, and we are continuing the scene at the Oden stall, where they've bumped into Keita and Dr. Matsuoka as well. The last video ended with everybody kind of teasing Yuki about they'll teach him as a reward for doing a good job, and Yuki is kind of protesting, saying he'd rather have the food, so we'll continue from here.
俺はおでんがいいんです。
Well, I'm fine with Oden.
あ、おじさん、大根とガンモドキとちくわと餅巾着とあと卵も追加で。
Hey mister, I want more radish and fried tofu and chikoa and mochi stuffed tofu and egg.
はいよ。
Coming up. So to kind of distract everybody from teasing him, he's decided to order a whole ton of food.
朝比奈、お前は頼みすぎだ。
Asahina, you're asking for too much.
確かにおごるとは言ったが、物には限度がある。
I did tell you I was treating you, but there's a limit to things.
だってすごく美味しいんですもん。
But it's really delicious.
ここのは至って普通の味だぞ。
The stuff here just tastes regular.
先生たちには普通でも、俺には特別なんですよ。
It may be regular to you, but to me it's special.
だって榊先生、今回だけって言ってたじゃないですか。
Since you said it was just this time, didn't you?
だとしたら、ここに来るのは最後かもしれないし。
Then this might already be the last time I get to come here.
それにこの屋台って秘密の大人の場所に来れたって感じがするんです。
Besides, this stall feels like I've come to a secret adult place. And here's another example of Yuki being kind of really interested in things that seem adult. He's very aware of, you know, the division between the students and the adults, and something about adult things seems mysterious and interesting to him, which is kind of a contrast to how the game itself seems to present adult things as being kind of bad, like sneaky or people doing underhanded things. That's what adults do. Students and kids don't do that sort of thing. So kind of a bit of a contrast here in Yuki's attitude versus kind of the game's theme itself.
だからいつも以上に美味しく感じるのかも。
So because feels like he's come to a secret adult place, maybe it's like it tastes more delicious than usual.
ああ、それわかるな。
Oh, I know what you mean.
この屋台って俺が BL 学園の生徒だった頃もあったんだけどさ。
This stall was here when I was a student at BL school too.
その頃から生徒が来るのは禁止でさ。
And even back then it was off limits to students. So this place existed 7 years ago. Keita couldn't even go here.
だから俺は昔もこの屋台が憧れだったんだよな。
So I always longed to come to this stall back then too.
そういえば伊藤先生と松岡先生ってこの学園の卒業生だったんですよね。
Well, come to think of it, Professor Ito and Dr. Matsuoka, you're graduates of this school.
うん、そうだけど。
Yeah, what about it?
先生たちの学生の頃ってどんなだったんですか？
When you were students, what was it like?
そうだな。
Well,
先生たちと言われても僕と伊藤先生とじゃ通っていた時期が違うから。
even though we're both graduates, Professor Ito and I didn't go to the school at the same time, which is true. They actually have quite a big age gap. At this point, Matsuoka's, I think, 35 and Keita is about 23, so there's a pretty big difference in their ages. So of course, they would not have been classmates.
今度保健室に来てごらん。伊藤先生たちの昔の写真があるから見せてあげるよ。
Next time you come to the nurse's office, I'll show you some old pictures of Professor Ito and his friends.
本当ですか？見たいです。
Really? I want to see them.
え、松岡先生、写真ってそんなのあったんですか？
Huh? Dr. Matsuoka, you have pictures?
やめてくださいよ。昔の写真なんか見せたら俺の教師としての威厳が。
Please don't. If you show him the old pictures, I'll lose my dignity as a teacher.
伊藤、そもそもお前に威厳なんてあったのか？
Ito, when did you ever have dignity? So you can see here, everybody's kind of loosening up and teasing each other. It's very cute to see the interaction between the characters where you normally don't see it. Usually we're focused on Yuki and his point of view and how he sees the students interacting. So it's nice to get the adult perspective here too.
そんな榊先生ひどいですよ。
Professor Sakaki, that's mean.
そうか。こうやって見ていると君たちは似てるんじゃないかな。
Well, seeing you like this, you two are similar.
似てる？
Similar?
俺と朝比奈くんがですか？
Me and Asahina?
ああ。
Yeah.
ちょっと待ってください。俺は朝比奈くんみたいに大食いじゃないですよ。
Wait a minute, I'm not a glutton like Asahina.
伊藤先生、俺は別に大食いってわけじゃ。
Professor Ito, I'm not really a glutton. Really?
いや、そうは見えないが。
No, that's not what it looks like to me.
本当ですって。俺はただすぐにお腹が空くだけです。
It's true, I just get hungry fast.
それを大食らいって言うんだ。
That's called gluttony.
榊先生。
でも、よかったじゃないか。
But I'm glad.
え？
似ているってことは、朝比奈でも伊藤先生くらいにはなれるということだ。
If you're similar, even you can at least become like Professor Ito.
榊先生
So all this teasing back and forth, remember the two of them work pretty close together, Sakaki and Keita, because they are both the homeroom teachers for Yuki's first year class.
それにしても朝比奈くんありがとう。
But Asahina, thank you.
ベル1頑張ってくれたんだろ。
For the Bell 1, you worked hard, didn't you?
おかげでこの BL 学園がなくならなくて本当によかったよ。
Thanks to that, BL school isn't going to close, and I'm really
伊
glad.
藤先生。
俺はさこの学園に恩返ししたくてそれで教師になろうって決めたんだ。
Well, I wanted to show my gratitude to the school, and that's why I decided to become a teacher.
必死に勉強してこの学園に教師として就職できた。
I studied as hard as I could, and I was able to get a job as a teacher at this school.
それなのに就職してたった2ヶ月で失職しかねなかったからさ。
And yet, I could have lost the job after only having it for 2 months.
それは僕も同感だ。
And I feel the same.
松岡先生も？
You too, Dr. Matsuoka?
ああ。僕も BL 学園だからこそ保健医としてここにいる。
Yeah, I'm also here as a doctor because it's BL school.
伊藤先生と気持ちは同じだよ。
My feelings are the same as Professor Ito's.
そういうものか？
Is that how it is?
榊先生、そんな他人事みたいに。
Well, Professor Sakaki, you sounded different.
悪かったね。大体俺はここの卒業生じゃない。
Oh, sorry. Anyway, I didn't graduate from here.
だから BL 学園だからといった話は理解できんからな。
And that's why I can't understand this talk of because it's BL school. So he has no special ties to this school. He's just been told to come work here and doesn't really seem to have any special feelings about it.
榊先生。
こんばんは。私も混ぜてください。
And now here is Dora-chan showing up. Good evening. Please let me join too. So now we've got yet another adult popping in. You know, someone after hours on their time off. We get a little more, and it's nice to see the more minor characters included here too. This is really kind of the sub character collection here. Though I would have to say that Professor Sakaki's not actually a sub character, and they just call him that, so there's not so many spoilers. People aren't suspicious about that. We can argue about that another time, though.
あ、ドラちゃん。
こんばんは。
Good evening.
親父さん、今日も美味しそうです。
And he's addressing the owner. Mister, everything looks delicious today, too.
今日もちくわぶ食べに来たんですか？
Did you come to eat chikawabu today?
それともこんにゃくかい？
Or konyaku?
どれか迷いますね。
Well, I can't decide which one.
なんかドラちゃんって伊藤先生や松岡先生とも仲いいんですね。
So, Dora-chan, you're friends with Professor Ito and Dr. Matsuoka.
なんか意外です。
That's kind of surprising.
そうですか？私たちお仲良しです。
Is it? We're good friends.
はい。だって先生たちって寮で見かけないから。
Well, yes, because I never see teachers at the dorm.
私、お二人とはここで仲良くなりました。
I became friends with them here.
この屋台で？
At the stall?
そうです。おでん、とても美味しいです。
That's right, Oden is really delicious.
美味しい食べ物、一緒に食べればもう仲良しです。
If you eat delicious food together, you're soon friends.
私、日本の出汁の味はとても好きです。
And I really like the flavor of the Japanese broth.
だから私、この屋台、たまに来ます。
And that's why I come to the stall sometimes.
ドラちゃんっていつもは早寝早起きなんだけど。
Although Dora-chan is usually early to bed, early to rise. feel kind of bad for for poor Dora-chan having to understand all these people talking so fast, especially Keita. He talks extremely quickly compared to the other characters. It's like you almost need to slow him down a little bit to match the pace of everyone else. And another one actually kind of worth mentioning is Dr. Matsuoka. He's very quiet. So I've actually had to go into the settings because the game lets you adjust the volume not just for different elements like the background music and the little sounds and the voices and things like that, but you can adjust each character's voice individually. So I actually had to go in and turn him up compared to everybody else so he would sound like he's speaking at a similar level to the other characters. But it's also worth noting that if someone's voice annoys the crap out of you, you can turn off just that one person and not hear them. So that's a good point. Anyway, let's see, what was Keita saying? Ah, yes, Dora-chan is always early to bed, early to rise.
ここに来る日は夜更かしするんだってさ。
The days that you come here, you're up late.
はい。夜更かししてでも食べたい味です。
Yes, when I'm up late, this is a flavor I want to eat.
嬉しいこと言ってくれんね。
It makes me happy to hear that.
本当のことです。
It's true.
最初は見たことない食べ物、驚きました。
At first, I was surprised by the unfamiliar food.
こんにゃく、糸こんにゃく、つみれ、昆布巻き。
Konnyaku and konnyaku noodles, fish dumplings, and kelp rolls.
おでんの練り物が魚でできていると知ったときは、私とても衝撃でした。
When I learned that paste products in Oden were made from fish, I was very shocked.
インドにはそういうのってないんですか？
You don't have these sorts of things in India?
はい。インドで練り物、だいたい小麦粉です。
Right, paste products in India are mostly made from wheat flour.
親父さん、ちくわぶお願いします。
Mr. Chikuabu, please.
はいよ。
Coming up.
ちくわぶ好きなんだ。
So you like chikuabu?
はい。ちくわぶは特に好きです。だしの味いっぱい楽しめます。
Yes, I especially like it. I really enjoy the flavor of the broth.
じゃあ俺もちくわぶください。
Then I'd like chikuabu too.
お前はまだ食べる気か？
You still feel like eating? And that actually ends the scene. So I am going to stop here, but I really like this scene because it shows a lot of relationships between characters we don't normally get to see a lot of while playing as Yuki, because Yuki, of course, interacts most with his friends, the other students, and we don't get to see the adults spending time together off work. They're usually, at work and being more formal, kind of a little bit uptight, doing their jobs and trying to do a good job, and they're still being pretty formal here as they address each other, and that's really because Yuki is here. Because in the next scene, they'll keep chatting and they kind of drop a little bit of the formality, but they're being extra polite in front of Yuki to show respect for each other in front of a student. But it is nice to get a little bit of a different perspective through here, and that's kind of the another one of the nice things about playing through Sakaki's route, because you do get that adult perspective. There's a little shift in how things are seen here, so it's a little more adult, a little deeper sometimes, and see that these adults who may or may not be troublemakers are people too, and they have their own relationships, their own friendships. And I just really like this scene with all the teasing, good-natured back and forth, and kind of casually chatting with each other. So I'm going to cut it here, and I will pick up with the next scene as they leave the stall and everybody kind of goes their separate ways back to their dorms or wherever they live for the night. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.